It just refines the process a lot. We can get rid of all the noise, all the crap, all the garbage, and we can only focus on the playlist that actually will make a difference. Oh, what is going on here? Let's see. Sorry guys, technical difficulties today. See, while this is loading, I see a question. Don't you see the SEO game decreasing significantly compared to, say, 1 or 2 years ago? I mean, I don't think it's a dying market. I think, Spotify's obviously putting out a ton more playlists, but I don't think it's a dying market. I think if anything, it's just becoming more complicated and the barrier to entry is increasing, but I think this will always be the way to grow a playlist. It has been since 2017 when Playlist came out, and it will forever. It's just going to take a smarter human behind the strategy to find the opportunities. So, just knowing this stuff, you're already ahead of like 90% of curators. All right, this finally loaded. Okay, now I'm gonna bump this up a bit. I care about playlists with that I'll get at least 500 streams a month from. Oh, maybe that was a bad idea. We're gonna have to wait for that. I think you guys get the idea that I'm getting at. You can filter playlists here by how often they're likely to accept you. And I think that's a great place to start finding highly relevant playlists, because these submission sites aren't really gonna show you that. So this is good no matter what submission site you use. Now, once you land in a playlist, or once you send out a submission, you should be supporting their business in some way. Okay, engage with them, follow them on social media, like their posts, comment. But you have to do this with no intentions of getting any support back. You can't look desperate or get butthurt when, if they ignore you. You just want them to respect what you're building, your vision, your brand, and not bombard them with, demands. This has always worked for me on both sides, the artist side and the curator side. As an artist, when I build a relationship first, when I, follow them and engage with them before submitting to them, my name is fresh in their mind. And when they see my submission pop up in their feed of hundreds of artists, they're reminded of this like warm, fuzzy feeling they got when someone was just supporting their brand with no strings attached. And on the curator side, it's the same thing. When artists supported me with no strings attached, and they just commented and engaged with me with, no demands, I shared them. Sometimes, even if I didn't like the song, I would just share them because I liked them. They supported me. Relationships are essential. So another great way to do this is if they do share your song, you can, put their playlist on your story and tag them. Yo, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Like, guys, check out this playlist. It's a banger. DM them. Hey, thank you. I've been listening to the playlist for the past few days when I submitted to it. It's a banger playlist, and it feels surreal to have my songs in here. And that's relationship building 101 in this regard. And then, you can obviously follow up periodically. This is something that I've done where I'll DM a week before I plan to drop a song, or a couple days. I'm like, oh my God, dude, I've got people DMing me about your playlist. Like, I'm getting fans from your playlist. They're turning into real fans, blah, blah, blah. They actually did. But sending them that and reminding the curator that they're making a difference was, very successful for me. The last thing is be in the forefront of their mind. It's always good to remind them that you exist. This makes you stand out. Okay, a lot of this stuff is like psychology. Like, it doesn't matter if 10 better artists than you also submitted that day. When they say your name, they're reminded that this person supports my business. This person makes me feel good. They're appreciative. They're grateful. And when they were getting your support with no strings attached. So that's how the top artists really are using submission sites. It's really just a gateway into relationship building. Now, let's get into the editorial world. Okay, I'm going to show you how these major labels game the editorial system. Even for artists that have no listeners yet, editorials are not reserved for the established artist. As much as editorials are a lottery, you can 100x your chances of getting shared just by saying the right things and sending your pitch at the right time. I have a cool personal anecdote to show you for this one as well. So our label has this artist, Marco, and he had released just one song, and the song only had like 10K streams. Dude, something is up with our servers right now. The timing is ridiculously bad. Ugh. What is going on? We'll have to look into this after this presentation. What I'm getting at is we had this artist with one song out and 10,000 streams total, and we nailed the pitch, and we released it at the right time on the right day, and he got shared in an editorial. And this is something that, is reproducible for us. A lot of our small artists land editorials, and it's just a matter of saying the right things and releasing at the right time, to cut through all the noise. So first and foremost, this is a known trick most people know about. Releasing 4 weeks in advance lands you more editorials. This gives you your pitch time to land. Spotify even recommends 4 weeks. And as a side note, Friday is also the day that most tracks get added into editorials. So if you schedule your release 4 weeks out on a Friday, you're already, standing way out from everybody else. It's amazing just what timing can do. Next is, this one is a bit optional. I love doing this. Drip feeding albums and EPs. So you only get to pitch one song from your album or EP. So you miss out on, pitching your entire album. So if you release every 4 weeks, that means you only get 12 pitches per year. So if you drip feed parts of your album out before you release it, one, it's a good way to keep your audience engaged. Something new is coming every 4 weeks, and you get to maximize how often you get to pitch the editors. Another thing you see established artists doing is they'll release like remixes of their old songs or acoustics or remasters of their old songs just to take advantage of the fact that they can get another pitch out of it, even if they're not producing any new work. I understand, this is not for everyone. This is a lot of work. But I've seen one of my friends, actually, they're doing 300K monthly listeners. They remastered an old track between the timeline of 2 tracks coming out, and that is their best performing track right now. It is a good song, but the editorial boost really, it's such a clutch idea. So clutch. Again, this isn't make or break, but if you can maximize how many pitches you get a year, you might as well do it. 12 pitches a year, Spotify's the biggest support system any of us have. Might as well take advantage, right? And then, this one's a bit black magic. I was debating not even showing this one because it's kind of like, anyways. But it can't hurt to follow the actual Spotify editors on Instagram. You can literally go to LinkedIn and type in Spotify editor EDM in the search bar and find all the EDM editors on Spotify, look them up on Instagram, follow them, and then you're planting little seeds in their mind like, that guy's name's familiar. I don't know why. I'm reviewing this pitch. And you can even go a step further. I saw this one guy do this. This was crazy. He followed all of the relevant artists that editor also followed, and then he just started hardcore engaging with them, and then his name obviously starts showing up all over the place to this editor, and then lo and behold, he started landing more editorials. So black magic, do it or don't, but some of our artists have done that and they swear by it. I think it's too much work, but good potential angle. And now for your actual pitch. Okay, someone could host a masterclass in how to make a good pitch. So much goes into a good pitch, but thankfully with the help of the labels we've been working with and the artists I've had the pleasure of working with, I was able to train an AI on like hundreds of winning pitches that these labels and artists sent me, which is so cool. It just takes all the bullshit out of it. To boil it down, Spotify really wants to know a couple main things. They want to know what's the premise of the song, like what's the story, can I relate to it? Is it part of a larger rollout? Is this part of an album? Or is this just a one-off? Did you work with anyone notable on it? Things like that. Sell your vision to them and get them excited as you are about the track. So that's the first question you need to answer. The second one is, what makes this song relevant today? Spotify editors are going to be asking themselves this. Do listeners want this song right now? What makes this song good for listeners right now? You have to tell them, why it's relevant today. It's relatable because it's a summer banger. Summer's rolling around the corner. It's catchy and upbeat. It's got a drop-in chorus, or it's a very deep and emotional song about XYZ, and this generation is facing a lot of XYZ, which makes it highly relatable right now. What makes it relevant today? Okay, what editorials it belongs into. This is a big one. This is how your pitch gets routed to the correct editor. And the funny thing is, like, only major labels and stuff really do this. It seems like nobody does this. No one mentions playlists, and that's a surefire way for the pitch to just get thrown into the recycling bin and, lost forever. And before, the AI pitch tool we made, the artists that knew they had to mention editorials, they would have to manually scour Spotify, searching for the right playlists. A lot of them have unsearchable names like, Teardrop, stuff you wouldn't even be able to think of to search. It was pretty gruesome. Anyways, point is that problem is now gone with this AI tool, which I'll show you in a second. The last one is, what are your marketing plans? Spotify's asking, this is Spotify asking you, why should we support this release? How are you supporting this release? And is anyone else supporting your release? They want to know that you're putting some effort behind getting traction to the song. and an added benefit if you're also bringing them traffic, like running ads or whatever it is. So yeah, let me now show you this AI pitch generator we spent months building. If the site will load. Okay, thank God. Okay, so we can simply click create new pitch. We can put our song in here. Midnight Drive. I'm gonna use this like demo text because this is from like a legit actual pitch that you know that's in the training data for this AI. For my debut album. What else is here? Upbeat summer country vibe. Perfect choice. Summer, sorry, this is slow. Truthful, relatable lyrics. Drop in chorus to hook listeners instantly. And then for ads, we did Meta/TikTok campaign. We actually did $100, but we wrote $500. Just saying. If you did a Western Canada tour, I don't think they actually review that you're doing this. You know, the labels I work with, they all kind of sprinkle some stuff in there. Radio promo with Stingray and 93.7 JR. Okay, that's it. We click next. We can add in our relevant artists. I have some from my last pitch for this artist. Okay, click next. Whoa, now we have all these. Here, let me go back. Oh my goodness, something bugged out, guys. The site is having troubles today. Okay, imported 7 artists from last pitch. Next. Okay, we'll use these 4. We'll do Fresh Finds, North Country, and next with Nashville. And then we can generate a pitch based on all of our information. It's going to include these 3 editorial names. It's pretty cool. Boom. Midnight Drive, energizing 5th single from my debut album, captures the essence of summer, upbeat country vibe, engaging dropping chorus, relatable lyrics, mirrors listeners' summer adventures, making it ideal for XYZ, blah, blah, blah. We can, obviously modify the wording a bit, banger if we want, and then we can click save. And we just plug this in our Spotify for Artist pitch. And now we have an actual pitch that answers every single question Spotify's looking for. It gets routed to the correct editor, and we released 4 weeks in advance so they have enough time to review it. So that's the idea of the 100x editorial pitch. Now, if we apply all 3 of these, okay, we get a stream generating asset, multiple assets potentially, that make $500 to $2,000 a month if you work really hard, potentially more. Instant credibility in the music industry. Remember I was talking about how these playlists are like a major form of leverage? That's that. A network of curators, people you're actually engaging with and friendly with, not just a pitch list. Because, if you've tried pitch lists, the hit rate is like 1%. It's very bad. The ability to trade placements with other artist curators. I think this one is probably the coolest. Take Russ, for example. He's turned his, say, 5K a month streams from his playlist into, tens of thousands of streams a month just without spending an extra dime. Just super cool. One of my favorite things. And then obviously a spotlight on all your editorial pitches. It's in the right inbox, sent at the right time, cuts through all the noise. So that's what you get when you combine all 3 of these. And if you're for real, if you're serious about implementing these, I've got a cool little deal for you. For those who listen through and listen to me, yammer on for over an hour. I only got, unfortunately, 50 of these to drop. So it's going to be first come, first serve. But I got the industry access plan in this bundle. So this is how you're going to, track all your playlist growth, do your SEO research and optimization, analyze competitors. This is your AI pitch generator and every other feature that Artist Tools offers. That's $199. I have a full training, so a 90-minute in-depth training, pretty much what I talked about today about the SEO optimization and growing playlists, but in excruciating detail. A guide. It's basically a guide to spot high-value playlist opportunities, growth hacks for, from the largest playlist curators, myself included, a lot of the people I work with, an actual case study so this isn't a whole hunk of mumbo-jumbo garbage, okay? A curator pitch guide. This is going to be like, how to mass personalize your outreach to make your pitches seem way more personal. Cold outreach templates that, see 30% plus reply if you plan to do email marketing or, cold DMing curators. Basically how to build a long-term relationship with these curators. The whole framework of how that's done and what these artists are doing. And then, I also have a demo of the AI pitch generator in there, just so we can really get down to the nitty-gritty. I also am throwing in $100 of in playlist submissions, $100 coupon to playlist submissions on my site submit link. So you can, start building relationships with curators and not have to worry about, the money going out. Okay, every curator on there is verified and bot free from Artist Tools data. You can track your pitches on there and start building actual relationships. I also have a 10% off coupon to Submit Hub ads to share, so you can, get your foot in the door a little bit cheaper than everybody else. You don't have to deal with the mess that is meta ads. If you're, already illiterate in meta ads, right? But you get optimized ad targeting, campaign manager. It's all done for you over there. I can give you a coupon so it's a little cheaper. So why this package? Okay, I feel like this is all you need to execute